Oshkosh. For Adventists, this single word has taken on a very special meaning. The 2019 International Pathfinder Camporee brought more than 56,000 Pathfinders and leaders to Wisconsin this last week, including more than 7,000 from the Pacific Union. Hello, I'm Connie Vandeman Jeffrey, and this is a special edition of All God's People, the 2019 Chosen International Pathfinder Camporee. Pathfinders from 92 countries gathered in Oshkosh, Wisconsin for the 8th International Pathfinder Camporee, which kicked off on Monday, August 12 and ran through Saturday night, August 17. The Pacific Union was well represented by Pathfinders from across the Pacific Southwest. Some 236 clubs from each of the 7 conferences in the Pacific Union attended this camporee, which is now held once every 5 years. By individual conference, the numbers of clubs are the following: Arizona, 25 clubs; Hawaii, 3 clubs; Southeastern California, 71 clubs; Southern California, 57 clubs; Central California, 25 clubs; Northern California, 41 clubs; and Nevada, Utah, 14 clubs. From across the globe, clubs and conferences brought something distinctive to share at Oshkosh, and our clubs from the Pacific Southwest were no exception. The Summer on the Run team from the Northern California Conference brought the iconic large blue slide that they've been using in day camps across their conference this summer. Sure looks like fun. The Arizona Conference brought a particularly special surprise for Pathfinders, a Reformation Expo, complete with portraits and stories of major reformers such as John Wycliffe, William Tyndale, and Martin Luther, as well as a replica of the 95 Theses hung on an old wooden door. Each day, hundreds of Oshkosh attendees made their way through this piece of living history and took away their own copy of the 95 Theses. The display was designed and built entirely by Arizona pastors. The roof and fencing were built at Thunderbird Academy, and the whole display took 5 days to assemble at Oshkosh. On Thursday, on the main stage, a group of 6 Pathfinders from the Aiea Ali'i Pathfinders in the Hawaii Conference performed a hula dance inspired by the Camporee's theme and the story of David. The song, "In the Palm of My Hand," and the hula beautifully illustrated how we are held by God. The group began practicing the hula dance in May, and were excited to bring a piece of their Hawaiian culture to Oshkosh. Literally hundreds of Pathfinders come to Camporee ready to participate in the drill and drum corps competition. The Canvas Avenue Church Pathfinder Club from Riverside, California took home the 2nd place award, much to the delight of all the SECC clubs, as well as the conference leaders who attended the event. Every morning and evening, Pathfinder clubs assisted in the raising and lowering of our nation's flag. On Sabbath morning, that honor was given to a group which included 2 Teens in Leadership Training, or TLTs, from the Nevada-Utah Conference. On Wednesday afternoon, our clubs represented the Pacific Union with great distinction in a parade on Celebration Way, and were joined by church leaders from the conferences and the Union. Pathfindering is now a global youth movement, and it was nurtured and developed right here in the Pacific Union. Our history with Pathfinders goes back some 90 years, including foundational work done in the 1940s and 50s. Pathfinders was first adopted by a camp in Southern California, and then a club in Anaheim. The first conference-sponsored Pathfinder clubs were in Southeastern California, and many of the most familiar aspects of Pathfindering, the triangular emblem used worldwide, Pathfinder fairs, camporees, the Pathfinder song, all of these got their start here in the Pacific Southwest. Our Pathfinder roots go deep, and they continue to deepen. Each night on the main stage, Pastor Damian Chandler, lead pastor of the Sacramento Capital City Church in the Northern California Conference and keynote speaker at Oshkosh, shared messages about God as our refuge, that He sees us, and that He has chosen us to do great things for Him. Following the messages from Pastor Chandler, young people watched a series of live-action plays following the life of David as a shepherd, warrior, and king. At its core, the Camporee is designed to inspire young people to lift up Jesus in their lives. At this year's Camporee, 1,309 precious young people were baptized, including some 200 from the Pacific Union. Thursday evening of Oshkosh was a special time for our Pacific Union clubs, as large crowds gathered on the left side of the main stage to participate as witnesses in the baptisms of dozens of young people from our conferences. An important moment witnessed by family and friends, and a moment of hope for the church. Elder Brad Newton attended the entire Camporee and dropped by our studio to share a personal reflection on a unique opportunity from Sabbath afternoon.
It was a real privilege for me to attend the Oshkosh Camporee as a representative of the Pacific Union. I was so blessed by our young people and inspired by the leadership of our Pathfinder clubs all across the Union and the division, actually, as I visited the other unions. I encountered a true spirit of Christian love and discipleship again and again. One of the highlights of the Camporee was a meet and greet for what they described as next-gen pastors. This was a special opportunity on Sabbath afternoon for young people who are thinking about a career in the Adventist ministry to meet with some of the leaders of the church who were at the Camporee. What a thrill to meet girls and boys, young men and young women who are already sensing the call of God to serve the church in pastoral ministry. I was so blessed by these young disciples. Every person I spoke with during this time inspired me and gave me hope. And the opportunity to talk quietly and frankly about serving God through the gospel ministry was clearly valued and appreciated. It was particularly important for the young women who stopped by to see us. I wanted to see them and let them know that God has great plans for them and that the policies of the church are such that they will be welcomed into the ministry in so many ways. And you know what? I saw the future shining in their faces. I believe that God has plans for us, for the church, that will be realized through these young people. The blessings of Oshkosh are just beginning.
Thank you so much, Brad Newton. Unforgettable experiences, special memories, and important life decisions. We're grateful for the youth directors, coordinators, medical, security, and many other teams of people who work so hard to make this an educational, memorable, and rewarding experience for our young people. Most of all, we're grateful for those who prayed for our young people to experience God's love while at Camporee, and for the young people who have chosen to follow Jesus. The 2024 Camporee theme was announced on the final day of the Camporee. The next Camporee theme is Believe the Promise and features the story of Moses. The dates for the 2024 International Pathfinder Camporee are August 12 through 17, 2024. Do you have memories of Oshkosh 2019 that you'd like to share with us? Post your stories to Instagram and Facebook using hashtag #PUCPath. Our local Pathfinders are back home now, and they have stories to tell. Listen to their stories. Ask them what impressed them most about the Camporee, what they learned, and why they can't wait for 2024 and the next Camporee. Let's see how we can include them in meaningful ways in the local church. They are truly chosen by God. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, His own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His marvelous light. For all God's people, I'm Connie Jeffrey.